You're a proper loaf of bread, mate. All right, well, that's our comparison between these two players. Let's actually take a look at which map we're going to be playing in this series. Put it up on the screen for everybody. 7 in total, 6 down. Villa is the one we're going to go for. Nora Rengo was slapped out of it. Now, big question, of course, is this the right decision?
Yeah, well, funny thing for Nora Rengo, this is actually a map that they ban almost all the time. It's a near insta-ban. They let it through like 1 or 2 vetoes so far in APAC North, but even then it wasn't the map that they went to. Last time they played it was in the Japanese Nationals, and before that in the Japanese Pro League, so it's not a map where Electrify would have a lot of info on Nora on, and consequently we don't either. So I wish I could say, yeah, this is a great map for Nora, but to be honest, we don't have enough info to make a statement about that.
Yeah, difficult to judge. I mean, you say that Villa is a near insta-ban for Nora Rengo. They banned it on one of the games they played against Electrify, but the other one, it was Electrify who banned it. So both of these teams don't really like Villa, and I suspect that this is going to be one of those instances where it comes down to, we haven't played it in a while, we've maybe done some scrimming, some practicing on this map, but there are other maps that we really want to get out the way, and this is what's left.
It's understandable when your team is struggling with some of the basics that you don't want to go to a map that relies on so much teamwork and really deep understanding. But from then on, let's see what everybody thought about this match. You can, of course, go and vote on all of our matches, usually on social media, since the last one that you can't anymore. I'm very sorry. Make sure you do that tomorrow for a U-League. Nora Rengo, 71% versus the Electrify, 29%. A lot of the fans here jumping behind the Japanese team. Understandable from that point of view, but still a lot to prove for these two, as it is the big battle for the bottom of the table. Let's see what everybody thought about this game, though. Talent, let's go. Assemble. There you go.
Wait, we talent?
And we assembled?
News team,
We have
assemble.
talent.
Name, not a natural.
Let's
Yay.
Wait, who's Ron Burgundy? Are you Ron Burgundy, Milosh? You're not Ron Burgundy.
What's
What
my
do you
question?
mean? I'm not that sexist, so maybe.
Wait, what is this about?
I'm not
we
Ron
all
Burgundy. I'm not
have to do
sexist
an
like Ron
accent.
Burgundy.
No, it was
We need
literally
to
a
sing
news
that.
team assemble reference.
I thought it was Avengers Assemble.
Well, you know
Next time
what?
we should sing the theme before we show up.
Avengers
No.
sucks.
You know
Okay.
what?
Hey, I'm Gio. I'm
If
controversial.
anything,
50%
if anything,
across the
Des
board.
is look. If anything, Des's predictions work 100% of the time, 60% of the time. So
Yeah.
always something to look into.
it less?
Fluke, can we just pull back that graphic?
No.
I didn't quite see
The
who picked
graphics
what.
wrong.
All
We all-
right.
We all did
The
Nora
graphics
Rengo.
wrong.
I've got
Okay.
the spreadsheet up. Yeah, we all
Okay.
said Nora Rengo.
Okay, good. I'm very proud of you.
Everyone was on 50% as well, so I don't know if the graphic was
Yeah,
just wrong and
that's
they're
definitely
hiding
not
it.
right. I'm
Have
definitely
consolidating that
being
I
moment.
believe we
That's
have
definitely
caught
not right.
production out here with an error.
I don't know. How dare you?
I believe our game is quite ready. I said this is the battle for the bottom of the table. At the end of last stage in phase 2, Nora Rengo complained about the format and the Buchholz system. Hap said it earlier at the very
love.
beginning of the day, but I have to say, if you consider yourself better than Electrify, prove it. Today, we want to see it. Let's take it to game.
Censored for my opinions. Dang
Production
it.
doesn't
All
like
right.
you, mate.
I called
I
Gio.
like we'd had Fluke on for not even 2 days, and she's already being censored by production.
Oh
Maybe
my
I'm the
god.
controversial one. Maybe it's not Gio.
Yeah, maybe you're the
Maybe I'm
problem.
the problem.
I can't tell the difference between two. You look so alike and you sound so alike. I don't know how
Especially
it
with
even
this
goes.
blur.
Yeah.
All right, you know what, Hap? I'm going to stay away from your hot takes for now. Let's toss it over to Hap and Fluke. Our final matchup, Nora Rengo versus Electrify.
Well, Fluke, I'm going to prove I'm not a boomer and I can make a proper reference
Okay.
to words, you know.
I'm looking
we are
forward
going to be in security and watching cams all day to see who the actual imposter is.
I think you're just so serious all the time. So I don't know. It's
You thinking it's me?
You're doing better. I mean, sus.
Okay,
Vote Hap.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you
hey.
can stay with me. I'll stay in the same spot. I won't move. You can see it's not me. Anyway, Nora is coming up against Electrify. It is the battle for last place.
Yeah.
Now the question is, they will be running
Okay.
away with the wooden spoon.
Is it fair to say it's the battle for last place? I mean, I guess you're kind of battling to avoid last place. It's the battle for not last place. I think that's You don't want
It sounds more positive.
It sounds more positive. You don't want to battle for last place because then you're just fighting to lose. It's not golf. You're not looking to be the lowest possible. You want to be up there in the numbers. So this is a battle to not be...
That was your strategy.
Yeah, that was my strategy with predictions. It was a ham-fisted lie. So but now, actually, in the great scheme of things, I know Gio says she doesn't like Avengers, but the 50-50 click, maybe that was production. And their great, magnificent hand, leveling the field and leveling everybody's prediction scores. That'd be pretty nice for me, because I think I'm losing right now. Who is losing?
Aren't we
Or
all?
no, Hassan.
It's probably Milos.
Yeah, he's not.
Together with Des.
Well,
They're like 49%, something like that. So
Des is the unfortunate victim of a curse. Or he gives a curse. Either way, there's, some kind of curse magic going on in the world of Des. And the world of Thatcher, as he's continually banned. Nomad removed by Electrify is always one of those operators where, I guess, if it's removed by a team, and it's a team that is starting on defense, I'm thinking, I'm hoping, I'm looking for some excitement on that defense.
looking for some aggression in the,
Yeah.
just some jump out, some flanks, just some spice in general to come through. We do see the clash being removed as well, so I'm afraid we're not going to see the same amount of clash play we saw yesterday on Villa on the EUL, where a ton of utility was used to get some great synchronization. Shows how weak clash can actually be if you work against it together.
I think that's it as well. It's always the combination. And if we're talking about how we saw it in EU yesterday, it was the synergy. It was them trying to bait and push the clash away into situations. They had to strike fast to make it actually work. And sometimes it worked for the favour of Vitality and sometimes it didn't. Either way, gone. She's out of here. She's off the board, as is Wamai. Two kind of placeholder operators for a lot of places to be held on this map.
All right. Meaning only Jaeger will be available to catch these projectiles off guard. As surely they will stop worrying about grenades now. Only two being brought. There's going to be 6 throwables besides that. And of course, well, another 6 projectiles on Zofia and Ash together.
I know you were just referencing a voice line there, and I know you've mentioned Zofia. We were laughing about Zofia's voice line earlier, where it sounds like when Shrek, she's like, "Hello there."
Oh, there.
Have you ever picked that one up?
When a concussion goes off, when a concussion goes off.
I can't not imagine Shrek.
10 seconds remaining.
I love the voice lines, really. It's like a great addition.
5 seconds remaining.
Until Termite starts swearing and he gets on the naughty list just like we are.
Well, I mean, I'm not on.
I mean, I don't know if
That's why
you're
they-
not,
that's why-
but
that's why they brought me in.
Gassan,
Yeah.
Jess, we're all on
All
it.
you guys saying
So-
naughty words, and they're worried that Dev and Geo might catch on. And you don't want to ruin those two. They're too pure, too sweet, like the kids from like Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. You know that old film?
No, I've never heard of that. What the
Wow.
hell?
Okay.
Is that maybe, a British thing?
I think it's like an old...
Is it a cartoon?
It's like an old
Or is it-
film. No, it's like an old film. There's
Okay.
Bed Knobs and there's
I don't know.
Broomsticks. There's a magical bed, and what might be magical is the start here on Astro. Ella threw that right across the face, a triple lift. But it didn't actually catch them too much. A little bit of damage either way, but the drone is going to steadily force them out of Astro. The pressure coming to the window, and he's like, nah, don't want to lose your life here. You just want to cost them a bit of time. And them and Pikachu are going to rotate out, but they don't quite catch the man there. Almost missed the fish that jumped into their net.
As a result, we have both Pikachu that got caught and triple lift that has been taken out. And Nora Rengo now with a 2-man advantage will be pushing on. We'll be able to make short work of those Banshees that have been placed down by Ray. As, the S's are in sight, really. Not going to be able to catch off any of these impacts or breaching rounds. And they will be flying towards the Banshee or that shield that Ray's played behind.
Yeah, sticks them in there and keeps them a little bit safer with the lovely audio that pulls them closer and closer. Obviously, Ray is staunchly defending what is known as the default plant spot there, and, well, they're also being pushed back by Papillion with the long-range stuns to be able to just force them into a less comfortable situation and allows Gridlock the comfort of rotating up onto landing. The pinch here could be shut down by Ed on the backside. If they're able to take care of the one man on the study window, it can very much shift into a kind of you try and push in, and we've got you from study situation. So the droning's gonna have to be pitch perfect here, as is the pinch that you can see stacking up towards main door on the first floor. They want to rotate up on the stair set. With only 50 seconds, they've got to try and make the push happen sooner rather than later.
It's going to be a double pinch to come through. One from the window, one coming up from the main stairs. At least you would assume so. As Ed needs to be taken down. He will be tossing out a C4. Not able to find anybody yet, as Ray will find the first kill. Ray will find a second kill before he gets taken out. Mariu will be able to pick up a double kill of his own. And that means the execute is now full force. 25 seconds on the clock. Utilities being tossed in. Sino goes down. It's only up to Ray now, but he will fall as well. Shingo will be getting that final kill with the L85. And it is going to be Nora Rengo up 1-0 so far on Villa.
It's very well played from Nora Rengo there. I think they were great at taking the situational pressure that they needed to. We saw it start over on the Astros side. Well observed by Easy, by the way. Have we given him a shout out today? I don't.
Not sure if we have.
We haven't. And
But now we did.
He's your Benelux brother.
He always shouts at me though, so it's like
Yeah,
we have a bit of a love-hate relationship.
Well, he's the older brother, you're the younger brother. He just wants you to do well. Hap. Either way, well observed by Easy, as we caught all the structure of Nora Rengo's attack there. It started on the Astro side. They knew there were bodies they had to flush out, and okay, Ash almost missed the drop down in the center rotation, but did catch them, and that obviously led to the success of them going, okay, well, we now have this portion of the map, shift it round. They got control of landing next, as we saw Sophia force Lucy slightly further back, and then it went to the stairs, and yada yada so forth. The site is theirs. It's a very structured, formulaic, but in a good way, systematic shutdown of what Electrify wanted to do on the site, and, well, let's see if the method works twice. Trust in the machine, trust in the process, and the process will provide.
All right, let's see how it will provide.
10 seconds.
Nora Rengo picking a, I would say, similar setup, and then I see a big shield coming up. A big boy with a big shield. Some might call him a mountain in French. As he'll be slowly shuffling himself towards that site, blocking off these doors, shepherding the players into the positions where Nora Rengo wants them to be. And it's up to Soulboy that is responsible for this task.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if this is their take two, plan two, and if it can be as successful as the first. Obviously, they seem to be entirely stacking up on the study side this time round. Maybe it's just a quick read of how the hold was done last time. Maybe in a way they played the bait game. Hey, we took Astro last time. Well, you should maybe go there. Ha ha ha, we fooled you. Study is now ours, as is the top of the main stairs. As they put intense pressure down towards long, they can already get the sight line down. They've already taken control of the stairs. It's a very different take, and so far it's been exceptionally successful. But it's up now to Electrify to respond, reevaluate, reposition, and try and reapply some pressure down long. First of all, Ed looking for the fight against Soulboy with the drone of Ash not too far away though. You expect her to hop onto 90 window.
Grenade being tossed over there on the game's wall. Will be followed up with some Selmas, of course, but a C4 then utilized to try and take down these Selmas, but it's not going to be completely succeeding, considering a massive opening will still be created. Not sure if two Selmas actually had been used here by that is Mariu. If he did, yes he did. Okay, so one got taken down by that C4, but I still think that might not be the best way to utilize your utility. But of course you're still defending the site. Might be better to use him, for example, a Monty that could be shuffling himself in any second now. And slowly they will be surrounding the actual bomb site. They will be surrounding the remaining players. If there's a Monty then, putting even more pressure down, that is not going to be helping you.
Well, the sight line is open now with all 10 players still on the board. Monty has found enough space and comfort to just, well, I'm going to move in. But this is the important moment. If he can get in front of the opener here and he can offer the support of the man with the diffuser to slip in behind him, it's going to force the shutdown here from the defenders to have to push back. Can't quite get it comfortably. They need an opening pick against Electrify here, and Electrify are doing just enough to stop themselves being caught. Ed still has it a C4 in pocket even, so if they go for a quick swing they can get it, but they get it instead with a gun. Mariu drops to the floor as they enter, and at least Monty's there to pick up the diffuser and pick up a new plan. Well, with Papilia getting the rotation, they have some more comfort knowing all the rest of the bodies are still on the site, apart from Ed, who's quickly retracting and retreating his way back down the stairs. They're still aware, still concerned, and still battling on the site, though, as Sino finds one more and gets dropped for the trouble.
It's up to Triple Lift now. 1 on 3 on side, but will go down, and that means Ed is on that flank, is on that rotate to come through. And as he takes down Papilia, he's going to be starting off that 1v2 clutch. The reverse plant's coming in from the Monty to deny any possible wall banks to come through. The cover is going to be there, but it's going to be failing to actually succeed. And this is game over. Right now, the Monty has a shield in front of him. It's going to be able to extend if he would like to as well, but has to be careful with his ammunition. You don't want to waste it all straight away. Just back yourself up in the corner. Make sure he's not going to be able to run past you. Exactly what he does right now. Ed will be probably losing this out, as a bit of pressure will be coming down. A quick reload as well. There comes the bait, but it doesn't seem to be a bait. Ed just stuck it, and Soulboy able to ADS, get the headshot in, and win the second round for Nora Rengo.
On a list of operators, you don't want to be in a 1 versus 1 against. And Monty's kind of... Monty's kind of up there. And that kind of proves the point. Obviously, you've still got to be a good Monty player to know the space you've got to keep. Know that you have to play a certain amount of mental game. It's keep away for a lot of intents and purposes. And you know a player of your opponent of this caliber isn't just going to try and slam hands against your shield for as long as the diffuser takes. They're going to try and play reverse rubber band mind games too, of bouncing back and forth away from you, trying to pull you out of your shield and catch you off guard. And yeah, it's not a guarantee, sure, but when you got a player like Soulboy playing it like that, well, it's pretty heavily locked down. Well played from Nora Rengo to be able to find another round and lock it in on an attack on the site. Electrify, changing it up, gonna head over to Trophy Statuary instead and see if they can make something work here.
They will have to try and make something work here, because otherwise they will find themselves in a bit of a pickle on Villa if they are ending themselves up 0-3 behind. And just look at the setup. I see 2 ADSs in the walk-in closet. The middle wall has not been reinforced yet. Some castle barricades that will be coming out will probably be followed up with some shotgun shells in the middle of that walk-in closet wall.
10 seconds.
Meaning someone with a shotgun will be playing inside there, and someone in bathroom will be covering it when, of course, the pressure does come. We have it. Little cheeky opening in the middle of the bathroom wall. Now all we're missing is probably the Ella with the FO12 to play in there.
Hey, stick him in, see what can kind of come out of it, really. It's this idea of having this extended hold, where, in a way, it's a costly extension for the opponents to suffer, depending on how much they put in towards it. Because you do have to get them out if you want to do a standard take. You have to dig them out of walk-in. And a lot of the times, if it's a patient player, they can dig in. And if it's a talented, sharp player, they can swing out and take a body or two as well for the pressure. It's like when you have a cat in a box, it's going to swipe at you if you get close enough. And you've just got to find the perfect way of coaxing them out, whether with treats or otherwise. In the meantime, it looks like they want to try and put the push from the opposite side and get Pikachu first.
Pikachu trying to hold on to the games room all by himself. Goes for a bit of a pre-fire, but doesn't have much support. And as soon as this Monty starts moving in, surely the games room will be checked out. There we have it. Soulboy moving in, giving away the information now, and the swing of the actual follow. Somehow losing the Monty. Not quite sure what happened there, but the instant trade will be there. But I still think this is really favored towards the likes of Electrify. Now, one thing Electrify doesn't have going for them is that this will be a south to north take. And at that moment in time, FO12 is not going to be helping out that much.
Yeah, for all the compliments we gave Soulboy about playing Monty the round before, that is a lesson on how not to really do it. Knew they had the gun support coming from two different sides, and they'd isolated a single man, and, well, you lost your Monty, you lost your tip of the spear, you lost the start of the push. That's not a great way to kind of play against that space, and Castle's done a lot to be able to take that out of the attacker's push. Now they've got to see if they can make anything work here on the landing side, as finally the pressure starts to come on the opposite. Sees the drift of the cat swiping from the box, but no catch just yet. The claws are still ready though, ever present and ever worrisome for anyone that gets a little bit too confident, calm and collected, because, well, they will appear and they will scratch you up, so you've got to give them a little bit of a berth for now. Mariu, in the meantime, is making their way underneath to see if they can catch something sneakily from below, making sure Mudroom's clear and there's no one on the chance rotation up of Astro before they take the rotation up Astro and try to strike against any of the bodies here. Cut the Ella off halfway.
Camera taken out, denying any form of information that might be used later on by the members of FE, and as that goes down, the entry comes through again. A trade, however, will be coming. This Triple F will be able to get one, but Simatuki able to pick up his double kill, brings it back to a 3-on-2 situation as the second smoke canister will be popped. 14 seconds left. Ray close with the FO12. Could be swiping in here with those buckshot claws you have been talking about. Has he managed to pick up the double kill right there? That is going to be 2 insane kills, important ones, and it's going to be Sino that finishes it off. It is Nora Rengo to lose this round. It's Effie to absolutely strike hard with those claws you have been talking about, and the multi being lost so early on definitely did not help Nora here.
Yeah, as Jackie from LATAM learnt the other day, if you leave a cat to its own devices and just try and ignore it and forget about it, it will find its way into the bin and start taking anything that it wants to. Then it becomes a fight trying to get it back out. They lost focus, lost attention, found its way inside the bin, and then found 2 kills for the trouble. 2-1. They take their first defense round, and it was from plucky play, being in the right situation at the right time to push it down to the wire, which, to be fair, if we're looking at that, the wire has consistently been where we're finding these battles take place. Monty off the board first, I guess, was an part of the rule and part of the explanation as to how the round started to tick away from them, because, well, when you had Monty off last, it was a 1 versus 1 down to the wire, but you took it.
All right, Afi, you are the underdog in this story. As again on the replay here, the FO12 helping out insanely after I just called it out for not going to be too big of a deal in the current situation they were in. But given the push and how it eventually unfolded, able to still find a close angle to work out on. Well played.
It's one of those things as well, one of those kind of stories of a gun that well, you cast a demo would refer to as the Titan Killer.
Oh no, I haven't heard it since OGA.
Haven't heard it since OGA. Yeah, the word.
I haven't heard it
was
since
desperate.
OGA.
Desperate for that to catch on across the regions, and it would be a disservice to him. Especially as we've already been discussing the Avengers previous to the power of all of those stones lining up and what they can operate. Sure, he made up this name pre-nerf. Sure, it hasn't been as prevalent as it was before, but in those locations, in those very tight corridors where you can just hold the trigger and watch destruction, yeah, you've got all of those stones cooking and working and clicking your way through those ratios. Now, this is a lot of the ground that has already been taken over by a Monty that's going for plan C, I guess. Monty, but with the push of the first time round. And so far, well, Electrify haven't fallen for it, or haven't lost their lives for it. That was a bit of a close rotation there, as they almost had a bit of a close haircut, but they're able to keep themselves alive, and that is the most important prevalent bit. When you look at a map like this, and when I talked about the fact that they took the Nomad off, it gives you the idea of rotation. We've seen them play this slightly before. We've seen it not work, and we've seen it almost work. Could this be the time where we finally see things come together for this roaming AVG?
As of course the question is, Triple F is hoping to find himself a kill somewhere, and as long as he stays hidden, he will be on the minds of the Nora Rengo players, and this will have to be dealt with. A flank drone was set up. He's not going to be able to move up from the red stairs anymore. It will be spotted. Question is, where will he be coming from? Will he be going to Astro, or will he fall back to, well, the main stairs and join the rest of the defense forces of Electrify to make sure that not another attack round will be going into the hands of Nora Rengo, who are slowly all circling themselves around the site, having some flank drones up. They should know exactly where everybody is going to be coming from, and in these last 60 seconds, surely action will be very explosive.
You would hope and you can expect as they try to push their way through onto the default spot, but from that point onwards, they otherwise haven't really been able to make anything else too much. The smoke canisters go off, but so does Reyes. They go for a bit of a rotation, doesn't get caught by the bullets, and if that's an unexpected situation and they can take care of the body on the other side of the Monty and isolate him on the strategy table, that could be a big move. But look at Triple Lift and look at Pikachu on the far side. They want to apply this pressure on the back stairs, and now is the perfect moment because all eyes are on that man on the smoke. The first goes and the second follows. Yoshi with a double kill, gets both on that landing side. Now it's down to Ed to see if he can rotate a little bit closer, but every single stun seems to be going his way. There is Ray, still left in a corner, and Monty blown out by the C4. The quick movement doesn't quite work as an almost double falls to them, but it's a 3 versus 1. They just have to try and stick the diffuser or the man, and they go with the man instead.
Sino taken down there, as Nora Rengo was unsure of where he would be coming from until Simatuki saw him coming up there. At that moment in time, they knew this round would be won. They could get that defuse down, they could have the cover up, and Nora able to pick up that 3-1. But can we just quickly mention the double kill from Yoshingo with the SMG? One magazine takes down 2 people there, trying to go for that flank. It absolutely backfired onto Electrify as it opened up the entire site. And Nora able to push in, able to go for that plant, are absolutely shutting down Electrify so far this half.
We talked about this when we were on Villa last. If you're looking at your splits and you're looking at how things work well, on your defense, taking a 4-2, that's average. That's par for the course. A 3-3 means things are going wrong. Anything more than that, well, you're kind of looking at Nora Rengo to be able to pull a pretty good map here so far. Okay. Things are close and a bit scrappy in a lot of the dying throws of this round, but they're still able to take rounds. That's the important part. And they have that timer working in their favor even more on their defense. So already claiming 3 has put them in a very good stead. Any more than that, and it could be a quick map.
Could be a quick map indeed, like we have seen from, well, the other 2 top teams that just played prior to this one. Of course, Nora Rengo hoping to find themselves a spot back in the absolute top of the region, as currently they find themselves, I believe, in 11th place, which is nowhere near where they want to be. Also, Electrify, of course, the team of the newest region added to APAC, is trying to improve steadily with their lineup. Seem to be getting caught off guard too many times by Nora Rengo, just holding these flanks properly. And that's a Monty that just found out that that window was prepped as he punched it.
Yeah, you could see him very quickly retreat and pull back, and I think the Pulse was hoping it was anyone but you learn this information very quickly, and Pulse is just going to have to play off and not be as aggressive in getting that assertive information from the other side as they were before. Talking of assertive, there goes the Pulse. Drops quite clearly on the rotation as Zofia starts to try and make quick work with the rotation up from Wine. Merritt has the long angle and is just going to hold it and wait for now as the rest of the team stacks themselves up and stacks themselves ready to try and apply the pressure onto the washroom too. Monty is more than able to move in. The worry there is above. We already see the outline of somebody playing around there, and we know Electrify like to be mobile before. The Mozzie is the one waiting. C4 in hand and, well, a lot of aggression as Pikachu rotates too.
We see Ray and Pikachu playing up here. The question is, how many vertical angles do they have to actually try and contest a push to come into the site? All that I can see so far is that the hatch has been opened up, and as Simatuki now goes for this hunt, he might be able to catch one off guard, I believe, as a drop might be coming through. C4 there will be taking care of Mario. That means the diffuser will be dropped, and the execute starts to happen. Yoshingo will be able to find that respawn, of course. Now the Monty of Soulboy will be able to find yet another one. That leaves it all up to Pikachu now as Triple Lift goes down. Finds himself in a 1-on-4 situation, hoping to fight himself a way back into the side, but as the Monty shepherds him back into the red hallway, it's Simatuki that falls from the skies, and we'll be picking him up. And the kill to come through. Nora Rengo, yet another round, beautifully executed here. Reading Electrify like a book.
It's very, very well put together as well. It just seems like they're getting these moments where they're in entire control of Electrify. And yeah, as I said before, it's sometimes close to the wire. It's sometimes these life or death moments where you can kind of hold your breath and see who was left standing by the end of it and who has the bigger lungs. And it's just consistently Nora Rengo. That last round was probably the most solid round that we've seen Nora play throughout this Playday so far. And as you said, they're just kind of reading them very well. They're in this complete level of control. right now, where all of the ideas, all of the angles, and, well, everything over the shoulder of those Monties is pretty steady.
It is pretty steady indeed. The Monty able to be used in that push ever, well, so effectively. Do you think we're going to see the same from Electrify coming out?
It's hard to gauge. Because as I said before, you're looking at the attacks on Villa. You're looking at a heavy side that is brick, mortar, and all the walls and all the aspects that, in a way, started to surmise modern maps in Siege. They approached this one with the design ethos of let's have a bit of space between the site and the outside. Let's not have these quick external-internal fights. Let's give the attackers a little bit of a berth and breathing room, and I guess the defenders more to play with. Sure, it's been refined a little bit since then, and this one was often cited as having, in some places, a bit too much for the defenders to play around with, but either way, it's always hard to gauge how a team is going to run because a passive attack might sometimes be mistaken just of what they see on their defense because you don't really get the full grips because people are confident on their defenses here.
Really weird double mirror setup here. Normally you would see one of them being located towards the balcony here to also counter study. But instead Electrify have chosen to boot one towards study from the actual games room and the other one from games towards aviator. Not too sure as of why. Also, I hope they have some vertical control from below, because otherwise we might just see Papillia or Sigmatuki going in from below, just blasting out the flooring underneath and just shoot out those mirror windows without any issue whatsoever. And you already see Papillia right here, waiting for the right ping to come through. It's going to be followed up with a grenade as well, most likely.
Which number? Choose a number and shoot.
2 numbers!
They are looking for it, they find it, and that is the worry of those mirror windows. Okay, before ping 2.0, you would still be able to catch those, but hey, it's a little bit easier now, which, you know, it makes things a little bit easier for the body underneath. They've done that, they've set themselves up with a slightly different idea, which is fair. You're on 4-1, this is your last throw and last chance to pull something back before you go into what is probably going to be some pretty troubled attack rounds, whatever the weather. Either way, you need someone playing a little bit more aggro underneath. You need someone offering some support on another level for those mirror windows, because Papillia, there, they were droned ahead, but they're otherwise free to just kind of push in and take those. Here comes the support. Here's triple lift on the Jaeger, and then a bit of a movement from Ed on the Valkyrie too, but nothing that actually leads to anything.
Ed is looking to go for a run out, maybe contest someone on the balcony there, while Triple Lift is trying to find himself back to the actual site. But that was your players that went downstairs right after the first mirror window got popped. Now, luckily for them, it doesn't seem like Nora Rengo is aware of the place of the second mirror window just yet. Might shortly be pushed out and force one of the players to go from below again to try and put some pressure. But here we have it. Soulboy moving in yet again, putting up some pressure. Will be followed up by one of the Nora Rengo players to, well, of course, use their actual guns to take out the mirror window. The mirror that is playing so close. Here we have actually Monty going for the challenge. Maybe thinking, why do you unextend there? Well, if you don't unextend, you are not really a threat that they will have to fear. And as he goes in now, he will get the knife onto the mirror. That is going to be a kill secured in these last 15 seconds.
Well, almost secured. The spray didn't quite matter, so they're just going to leave her there for now. It's actually triple lift that's the first off the board, but Ray finds one back. Yoshingo pushes aggro, and, well, it's suddenly a flood of Nora Rengo. 5-1 on their attacking split on Villa. Well, that's telling a story.
I mean, we said they had to prove themselves that they are indeed better than Effie as they ranked below them. Seems like they're on their way to do that. Exactly that. As Effie is struggling so much with anything Nora Rengo brings on the attack. Now, luckily, they will be over to the attack themselves. The question here, however, is how will the defense of Nora Rengo go up against them? Is Effie going to be able to actually counter them off? Because Nora did that perfectly on their side.
5-1, and the bait and swip there is the Warden, who's picked and dropped for potentially some other problems. It's all been locked on the other side. There we go. Yoshingo ends on the alibi. Allows them some of those pre-fire angles, allows them to waste a little bit of time on windows, and, well, with a recent slug edition, assuming they're going with that, which our observer Easy actually does love. He consistently plays that, I've noticed.
What? Oh, Alibi, yeah, with
Yeah.
the ACS. I was going to say, like, yeah, indeed, he does. As soon as you're playing with him and
That's why he's observing
Maestro
it now.
Alibi comes out, it's like, doom, 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 doom. That's the only thing
Yeah.
you hear the entire time.
You'll hear it throughout this as well. Since it became a slug gun, it is hefty and exceptionally solid. And they're not actually using it there. It's just a fun sound. It's a fun sound, fun gun.
I've been wondering, like, we haven't really seen it on any Maestro,
No.
but it's of course because the Alda is just the superior gun.
Well, yes. I mean, the Alda
But I saw
is
it the other day.
Alda.
I saw it the other day. An actual ACS coming out on the Maestro.
I mean,
It was a beautiful sight.
I know you guys got some of your first taste of Sloth and Kavana gaming in the UKCL, and the madman that ran the Valkyrie shotgun in the final of their chance to play into CL. Expect more.
Was his debut as well?
It wasn't his debut, no. Sloth,
Oh.
he's a player. The only person debuting is Packball. I think it's his 4th debut coming up very soon, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Papillia.
An anniversary.
An anniversary. Get out the cakes. Now we watch as they try and construct those in art studios. It's not going to taste very nice, and that's why they're going to retreat and head away from them, because you don't want to eat paint. And they're going to see if they can find someone else. The rotation, it looks like there may be a body coming from underneath, but I'm just seeing that. Yeah, they've just pushed all the way back to the opposite side, and it is Ed that is on the hunt for anyone that is trying to pick up the flank here. They have Ray double down and working the IQ beneath with Pikachu there too. But the worry is, this could be a strike from Papillia on the backside. Even if he was able to take one of them out of this, just on the rotation and the manipulation through this corridor, well, it could be monumental. And that's only if Electrify get a little bit too comfortable.
It's just waiting. He's waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike, but it seems like Electrify is not having it. They're not rotating through. They managed to take out a shield, but, well, Triple Lift is going to be able to get the kill to Simatuki. Sino gets down. Yoshingo, however, still around here, playing right behind the Prisma. Now for a bit of a pre-fire, knows he's under pressure now, under big pressure. And Soulboy not actively able to continuously support him close, considering, of course, the windows that are available. That shield will stay, though, as Yoshingo takes him out, but he didn't hear the jump into comment. It's a team kill from Triple Lift onto Sino. That will at least help out onto Nora Rengo. But another kill will be coming in. Ed will be taking down Soulboy, and the attack seems to be, well, working quite fine here for Electrify so far. As Mary and Papillia, the last 2 members standing. Gemini will be taken out. A quick headshot will be landed onto Papillia. And Triple Lift cleans it out with, well, which is a 5k, considering he also got a TK in there.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of looking at how that started to fall apart for the defenders, and it was a very well-played moment of them taking control of Walk-In. They opted, instead of dancing the economy of trying to cook the man out, jump in, go from 2 sides. Okay, maybe let go of left click a little bit earlier, and you might not kill your teammate, but either way, you got the frag. You got the important momentum and moment for you to be able to push a bit forward, as well as losing the smoke early on in the confrontation that happened towards the bathroom side too. It's always one of those losses where you think, imagine that. Imagine the ability to stem that 30-40 seconds a little bit later on down the wire when you know the pressure is going to be coming from this bathroom side or bedroom door. It's 1 or 2 very isolated locations. Perfect for those canisters to slow the roll. Either way, they're not going to try and double it down. Trophy Statue is going to be a bit of a hindsight as Nora Rengo tried to put themselves on map point on a site that really put them into the front run of this game. They have been flawless so far on how they've wanted to take it, and they've taken it in a few different ways. Let's see what way they want to hold it.
Managed to hold on quite well to it. Now they find themselves 2 rounds away from a victory. One that, after the first half, looks basically certain for the likes of Nora Rengo.
10 seconds to go.
The question, however, is, will this turn into another attack side of map? Will we see a couple of electrifying attacks to come through right now? Some stunning ones, potentially. Because right now we're on 6 attack wins, only 1 defense round to be won.
I think that's the thing about this map as well, is for all the times you cite statistics, and for all the times you say it's defender-sided, it's whatever, and you can kind of use that as information to break down whether an attack or a defense is doing well or not, sometimes some games just swing the other way. Sometimes you see the attacker favorite thing. And to be honest, the way it's been built to me is that APAC is an attacker region. It's a region that loves to get in, get aggro, and get into their opponents. Yana's going to try and lead the one that wants to control electricity.
Where did I get shot from?
Pavilion.
Oh, Papilio, okay. I was going to say, I didn't see him there. It's like, what?
Across the deer, waiting from split, and trying to pick apart anyone that gets a little bit close. But they are caught out by the roam hold. The angle locked off there on 90. A spray and a bit of movement and a bit of momentum shuts down a player who was completely blindsided by what was a concerned and thought-controlled rotation.
A bomb has been located.
Worst thing is, there was an actual player ready on the 90 area. I believe it could have been Simatuki or Soulboy. Call should have came through that the window was open and that it was unsafe to rotate back, but unfortunately it didn't. And that means Electrify right now are finding themselves with another man advantage. The Gemini will be trying to get some information this time, trying to preserve it. Hoping to reuse it again as they deactivate it now. Of course, charges about 4 times quicker, I believe, if you deactivate it, rather if it gets shot or destroyed. So, better utility use, that is.
Flashes of grenades over the top. Not enough to get the claw that holds that wall firm, but enough to at least force anyone out of Golden Vault temporarily. They have to reevaluate what they're doing, and they got a minute, so they have plenty of time to start to come up with their plan. And it looks like it's going to start over here on the study side. The big rotation of the hard destruction, as they know they want to get a fresh angle. They can't get the Kaid claw, so they can't cut the site in half with Gunvolt, so they're going to have to opt for the old familiar take and pressure of putting it straight behind the bar and on AVG itself. Now, with 19 with long kind of under their control, apart from Samut, who's just playing a bit wide, well, it's the rotation of the Yana and the drop of Soulboy that starts to swing things a little bit more into their favor. Shingo is concerned about every single which way and angle. The C4's thrown, blown, and there goes Ray with the diffuser 2. Every single canister is being popped, and the man behind the strategy table as Mario picks them up off the floor. They're trying to dig the diffuser in. They might not know that it's going on, and, well, Ed's able to pick themselves back up now in a post-plant. An amazing take from Yashingo, going deep as that allows the rotation from Malusi behind strategy table. There's 1, 1, and 1.
Oh my god.
And there is a diffuser.
Yushingo shutting down the balcony hole allowed Mario to push through. Mario to push through allowed Yushingo to move. And all the puzzle pieces fell together as they managed to get this clutch in. As they managed to get the defuse in. And as Nora right now find themselves onto match point in round number 9. That means they have 4 more opportunities to try and close this one out. They have 4 more rounds to prove that they are indeed better than Electrify. And so far, well, they're definitely showing it.
Now's the moment, though. Now's the moment to then put a nice little bow on this game, sign it, seal it, and deliver it to Liquipedia so they can update the tables and we can see, finally, Nora Rengo is starting to climb a board that has otherwise plagued them over the past couple of phases. A team where we saw them so consistently on grandest of stages, and then things started to go a little bit wrong, and then a lot of it wrong, especially in the birth of modern APAC scenes, the modern regions, the modern splits that otherwise unfortunately left them a little bit in the history books and in the past that they so heftily helped write for this region. Here, though, 6-2 up against Electrify. Match point sitting with all the rest being their defenses ahead of them. If they can lock this off now and they can find some momentum for the upcoming weeks, we can maybe start to turn the page and write the fresh chapter. The newest one in the saga of Nora Rengo is we're back, baby.
We are back indeed, or at least they hope so after their win, if they manage to pick it up here. We are 3 minutes away from potentially finding out whether or not Nora Rengo is going to be able to close this out with a 7-2 scoreline. The RC7 activated just to make sure that no drones will be finding out the exact location of Soulboy. His windows are getting opened up left, right, and center. And the clock ticks down. The drones are being used. They hope to get the information out. Electrify know what's at stake here. They know they would be ending up in last place if they're not going to be able to take this win home. And just look at the left. Shingo 10 on 4. Simatuki 10 on 3. Those two are absolutely on fire this game so far.
Well, here comes some pressure underneath. Pikachu's making sure that they move with all the electricity that they are supposed to be able to harness straight towards the site, straight towards the point. The Soul Boy is the potential rotation and problem that might come underneath. If they can work as surprised, work as intended, and take care of the charges, well, they're not going to be able to do it like that. The timing, unfortunately, falls off, as does the ability to shoot that drone. Has to go for a different location, but will at least slightly dampen and slow what they wanted to attempt, because they know if they put anything hard onto that wall, it's probably just going to get shot off. So they need to start their collapse in another way. There's the movement, still from Iana, leading and beating and beating their way through the building and making sure they have some ideas before they go for the aggressive swing. They want to isolate some Nora Rengo players. Unfortunately, it's seeming a little bit hard to keep our hands on them.
Definitely seem to be able to slip through time and time again, as we have two of them up here on the top floor right now. Only one member seems to be challenging them soon. I believe it is Ed who is droning himself in. There we go, indeed. We'll be entering into Trophy, but I believe that the drop just came through. And as the two members fell back, indeed, Mary and Papilia now find themselves on the actual side. Barricades coming through and are supported by the cardiac sensor scan of Simatuki. Ray's going to be the first one to potentially find himself a gunfight, as the pings are now coming through, and he moves himself towards the library and the actual living room. C4s are being prepped, and soon, within any second now, these kills will start flooding into the kill feed.
Well, Sledge is doing his best above, and they're going to opt away from the C4 for now, but they still have it with the dying throws and dying rounds. There's the pop, there's the throw, there's the blow. Triple left still go, and he's able to keep going, gets one. Meryu is able to find one of his own as the Ace manages to start blowing his way into the site itself. Malusi's going to give an idea of anyone approaching close quarters here, and it gets burnt, but there's Soulboy, and there goes Soulboy, and Ed with a double kill, amazingly! They're able to pull complete control of the site here. It's a 3 versus 1, but with only 15 seconds, this one could be very important. It's a 2 versus 1. It's a 1 versus 1, no! Just misses the top of them as they pull away, so close to stopping the plant, stopping the diffuser, and now everything falls a little bit on the wire for Papilia. They have a rough idea of where the bodies are, but might not know how close it is. Just on the other side, able to take care of one, locks them off so they're not an active drone. 20 seconds, Iana on the other side of a soft wall with all of her grenades, but she doesn't need them. As Electrify managed to stop almost the unstoppable Papilia.
Wanted to go for a bait here on that defuse, but instantly got shut down by Ray. But Papilia almost pulling off a hero play right there, almost securing that 7-2 for Nora Rengo. And thus we are going over to 6-3 right now. One more round, Electrify will survive at least. And Trophy Statuary is the bomb site where they will have to fight for survival once again, as Nora Rengo is looking to close out this game now. It could be any minute, it could be any second, as we're getting closer and closer towards that end. And Electrify, they need to hold on for this bumpy ride if they want to be able to actually get a win down here, to make sure they put Nora Rengo down onto that bottom of the standings and move themselves up in the 1-2-2 club in Stage 2, Phase 1.
6-3. Gap slightly less wide, but in no way less formidable. Every single round has to be played with the same panache and ferocity that it was there. And you look at Nora Rengo, you look at the players, and you look at obviously they're almost being able to take that back from what was a very comfortable opener. This round was, fair to say, it was generally Electrify's when they were attacking it before. They seem to have a complete lockdown and shutdown, and it started with the pick of the pulse, or the pick even of the walk-in, and then the kind of strategic steady shutdown of everything else there. I'm curious to see if we see the same kind of play of Nora Rengo. They've opted away from the alibi, and they've opted away from it entirely, actually. They're not going to try and double down on the same lessons, because I guess they were pretty harshly taught last time.
So to Electrify to adapt right now to the different strategy that Nora Rengo has brought. So Papilia there trying to go for a reinforce, but there were none left in the pool.
Oh no.
Fortunate for him. That is not really what you expect as soon as you run up to that wall, but nonetheless, most of the key reinforcements have been placed. It's just going to be making it that Aviator game's a little bit less defensible, but it doesn't seem to matter anyway, because the majority of this attack of Electrify is coming from the walk-in closet and master bedroom side. Soon they will take control of the actual bathroom as well, and that means that they will be within striking distance in this 2-minute range to actually go for yet another round. But the question is, how many C4s will there be available? You see 2 there, one on Mariu, one on Soulboy. How will they be used? Will they be used from below? You see all these drones checking for these Velcams, but they just can't find them yet.
Wow, it's been a very quick approach here into this control of the bathroom, with Ray on the windows, 2 full frag grenades, and all the charges that can be offered from the range soft destruction. They know what they need to do and where they need to do it from, and Nora Rengo, they're not going to play as aggressively as they've otherwise been stepping toe-to-toe with Electrify, which is not going great, because it just kind of allows them to have some time and have some place. The Bandit, very brave, is going to try and double down and take care of the charge. Is able to shoulder one of those bits of damage, but can't quite get the next. So looks aggro against it. Wants to bait the play, wants to bait the angle, but they're probably outside at this point on, and it's going to make things very uncomfortable as he is now slightly isolated, cut off from the world, and there's still 2 more frag grenades on the board. Swings and pops and peppers bullets towards a window where nobody's home, but it's the long range of Mariu that actually almost finds the first casualty in this confrontation. As you can see, the slow rotations of Valk on the opposite side. All the pressure is on this side so far, and Electrify just charge right through. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3! As they find themselves instantly into sight, with Soulboy being able to stop it slightly, but now is only Soulboy having to stop it entirely. And, well, the second time in a row, close blonde situation starts to come together, and this time Electrify are not letting it slip to a 1 versus 1.
Able to shut them down completely here, Electrify. Manages to open up what needs to be opened up. By the back of 2 grenades, of course, taking care of the Bennett wires. And as an immediate result, the pressure came down. Just a quick rush through Astro as it was clear into the actual trophy room. Forced the player in Statuary to pay attention to that area as well, allowing the double peak to come through in effect. And the 6-4 is where we're at. Round 11 coming in. We're in double digits now, as we were last time around as well. And this game is getting stretched out ever so slightly. And Electrify are fighting for survival, as said before. They're fighting to make sure they're not ending up in that last place. Whilst Nora Rengo is trying to secure themselves their first win of this stage here.
Attackers need to locate
Nora Rengo.
as many bombs as
If I'm talking about turning a page, and I'm talking about starting a new chapter, well, this ends up pulling itself back into an OT and pulling itself into a potentially worse situation. Unfortunately, we might just find ourselves writing one of the saddest pages that's been in the current chapter in a while, and it's that situation of history. And I know it was something you asked earlier, as you said, is it more pressure for a team that is on their match point round, or the team that needs to fight their way to it? And my answer was it depends on the team. Could this be a lesson in when things can go wrong for the team that is on their match point? Because the big gap is steadily getting smaller and smaller, and Electrify, for all intents and purposes, are looking better and better.
Starting to grow into this match, and it might be exactly what they need. Another 3 minutes will be coming up, and another 3 minutes to potentially decide whether or not this match will be going on for yet another round, or if Nora Rengo is going to be able to close it out as they're back into their beloved Aviator games. The, well, probably most played bomb site in Villa. Not exactly sure on the win percentages for the defense, but they are pretty much high up there, around the 50 mark and possibly above. And as the Gemini replicator comes in again, there is no pressure whatsoever. You see an electrified wall right there? Well, the utility's basically wasted because they're just allowed to have it for free. No one is trying to challenge it. And as a result, it is electrified to take a lot of free ground right here. And that is going to be sparing them a lot of time, because just put down 1, maybe 2 players there, and suddenly they will be busy for at least a minute 30, maybe even 2 minutes to try and clear them out, depending on how well you hide and how well you choose your fights.
Attackers have located a bomb.
But right now, 2 minutes is what Electrify has to get their execute going.
Looking down long, and Pikachu has been a consistent force of entry. Sure, it's a 3-9 split, but look at how much ground they're taking, and look at how much space they're clearing for the rest of the players of Electrify to move in their wake. That is one of the other jobs that you need your entry to be able to do. Yeah, sure, kills are nice, that's great, that's perfect, but the distance, the pace, the pressure that they're able to apply to Nora Rengo has really taken them by surprise in some aspects. And here they haven't been able to catch someone at the same moment as Filia is able to rotate and get out of there, but either way, they're still looking at burning utility and still looking at just forcing and shepherding the control of the space. Maryu opens up with a vital kill against Eden. It's quickly followed up by the aggression of Simotuki. Takes care of Pikachu and gets the rotation of Soulboy too as they find themselves starting to push back against the encroaching attackers. This could be a moment, and there it is! Sprint straight past and just keeps going! Triple lift! An error to not catch that, sure, but the boldness of Soulboy took everybody by surprise.
Unfortunate there, the Selma not quite reaching its mark as Simotuki now goes down as well. Worlds Electrify that fights back as they find themselves on a 4-on-3 situation. Still wanting to get rid of that shield as Triple Lift is going to be running past Midgets to pick up a beautiful headshot there as that is going to be turning back into, equal numbers here. Yoshingo replies and takes down Ray. A 3-on-2 as smoke will be used. Sino is getting tagged up through the smoke, I believe, and that is going to be making things ever so hard as it's suddenly all up to one man. It's Triple Lift to go for an heroic play as he shuts down two members. Goes for that defuse, but is he aware of where Soulboy will be coming from? All he has to do is peek in, get the shot, and he will. Nora Rengo able to get that win, and the mistake from Triple Lift earlier on will cost him. Just because he couldn't catch that Ella as he actually rotated back up. It's costing them around right now. It's costing them a potential draw up to overtime and a potential win right now. Nora in. But it was ever so slightly because Electrify really started to come back.
Yeah, gotta give credit there to Electrify to being able to find just a little bit extra in those canisters and kind of living up to their name, obviously. Unfortunately, someone has to sit at the bottom of the board and the bottom of the table, and today that is Electrify. But if they can keep locking down the consistency and energy that they seem to be able to harness, I don't know if they'll be there much longer. Credit to Nora Rengo. Things started to look a little bit shaky at points, and they were able to finally lock it off after a couple of rounds, made probably the hands on the keyboard sweat a little bit more than they were a couple before. Credit to them.
Again, Triple Lift, if he managed to get that one kill, this round would have been so much different. But let's just quickly toss it over to the analysts to discuss these, 11 rounds we've just had.
Rounds, but at the end, Nora Rengo, or Japanese